These casualties have just arrived in MSF's hospital in Hammam al-Alil, south of Mosul. The team in this specialised trauma unit treat patients wounded by bullets, bomb blasts or shrapnel. Most of the wounded are brought to the hospital having been stabilised in medical posts set up by the army near the front line. Opened 6 weeks ago, the hospital has already treated 1,400 patients, half of them women and children.
They usually come in big waves, so on the same day we can receive up to 50 injured, sometimes within 1 hour, and they all come together. They're family units that come together, not just single patients. So it's a really, really intensive project and intensive activity.
As the fighting intensified in February, MSF opened several facilities in the region. Teams are working in hospitals and maternity centres in and around Mosul and are providing primary health and mental health services in clinics set up in several displaced persons camps.
La situation elle est quand même assez urgente parce que si on voit l'opération à l'est de Mossoul, en 3 mois, on a eu environ 1300 blessés et environ 200 000 déplacés qui sont sortis de la ville de Mossoul-Est. Là, aujourd'hui, à Mossoul-Ouest, en 1 mois, on a les mêmes chiffres qu'en 3 mois à Mossoul-Est.
The situation of the 400,000 people still in western Mosul is particularly alarming.
The areas we have visited in West Mosul, there are huge infrastructural damage. Most of the houses have been destroyed during the offensive, the military offensive. There are food needs. There are no water and sanitation system, as most of it has been destroyed during the war. There is an overall lack of supplies. There are no education system in place, no vaccination, no primary healthcare access, and no obstetric care.
The teams working in the hospital in Kayaha are seeing the consequences of the deterioration in living conditions in Mosul and the hardship in the displaced persons camps and their impact on children's health.
The children coming from Mosul, most of the parents was forced to give the children food that is not appropriate for the age, like yogurt or flour with water or sugar with water for children less than 6 months. They can have a war injury, bomb blasting or other kind of severe injury. It's frequent to find children with the bronchiolitis also in our countries, but here they are a lot because probably the virus are spread very easily in the tent as the tent are overcrowded and the children are very small.
For the hundreds and thousands of people who've been forced to flee, the harsh conditions in the camps only add to the psychological scars left by the war and the uncertainty about their return to a city largely reduced to rubble. Twelve women die of cervical cancer every day in the Philippines. The organisation Likan has tasked Lina with informing the women of Tondo about the importance of getting tested.
We know that cervical cancer is preventable. It's one of the most preventable cancers that anyone can have. And we would like to give women a fighting chance because we know how significant they are as persons and their role in society.
When a test detects precancerous lesions, women in Tondo are given cryotherapy, a quick procedure that involves the freezing of cells. Patients presenting signs of a more advanced stage of cancer are referred to the hospital. And girls aged between 9 and 13 can get vaccinated. 25,000 young girls in Tondo have been immunised. The clinic receives around 80 patients a day. MSF, present in the Philippines since 2016, was able to benefit from the work initiated by Likan, who've been running a programme in Tondo for close to 10 years now.
They're interested in making sure that the farthest reaches of this vulnerable and very marginalized population has non-judgmental access to healthcare in a situation where they wouldn't normally have that access.
The Tondo programme is breaking new ground. MSF wants to demonstrate its viability to incite the Filipino government to support such initiatives, including in challenging settings. Haidan is in North Yemen, an area directly affected by the war that began over 2 years ago. Not far beyond the rubble left by the attack on the hospital 18 months ago is the town school. It too was bombed.
It's a malnourished child, 1 year old, with diarrhea, so gastroenteritis since 1 week.
A health system in a state of total collapse. The soaring cost of essential supplies. The people of Yemen are paying a very high price.
All the civilians that nowadays they don't know where to go because the hospitals are closed for many reasons, because there are no more money to pay the staff. It's difficult to find drugs inside the countries, and the health structure have been affected directly by the war, destroyed by the airstrike.
Since MSF's return, the hospital has an emergency room and maternity and paediatric units again. As a result of the conflict, over half of Yemen's medical facilities are no longer open. It's estimated that close to 15 million of the country's inhabitants are without access to the most basic medical care.